Hello dear viewers, and a very warm welcome back to our channel, your trusted source for the latest insights, breaking developments, and heartfelt stories from the world of the British royal family. Today, we take you behind the gilded gates and velvet curtains to reveal a deeply personal and utterly unprecedented decision, one that has reportedly been made by His Majesty King Charles III, a decision that could reshape not just the life of his eldest son and heir, Prince William, but also the very future of the monarchy itself. The last year, as you all know, has not just been challenging for the Windsors, it has been a crucible. A time that tested the very fabric of their family bonds, threatened their public image, and demanded impossible choices between duty and love. It is no exaggeration to say that these months have left scars and prompted acts of compassion that will echo for years to come. Let us revisit the harrowing timeline that brought us here. The year opened with the kind of announcement no family, royal or otherwise, is ever truly prepared to face. King Charles III, the nation's sovereign and moral anchor, had been diagnosed with cancer. The news sent shockwaves across the United Kingdom and the entire Commonwealth. Suddenly, the man who had waited nearly his entire life to serve as king found himself forced to step back from the relentless rhythm of royal duty to fight a personal battle. The world watched with bated breath, uncertain, anxious, and deeply sympathetic. But fate, as ever, was not finished. Before the royal household could even catch its breath, another devastating revelation: Her Royal Highness, the beloved Princess of Wales, Catherine, was also confronting a cancer diagnosis of her own. Within weeks, the palace was plunged into a crisis like no other in living memory. The two most pivotal figures at the very heart of the monarchy, king and future queen, now fighting separate but parallel wars against a disease that shows no mercy for crown or commoner. As the palace scrambled to adapt, one figure stepped into the breach with a sense of calm resolve that astonished even those closest to him. Prince William, firstborn son, heir to the throne, and devoted husband, found himself carrying burdens almost too heavy for any single person to bear. He was suddenly not just the face of royal continuity for a nation in distress, but also the emotional anchor for his family, supporting his father the king and caring for his beloved wife Catherine as she faced rounds of preventative chemotherapy. All this unfolded under the relentless gaze of a global media machine and a public desperate for reassurance. There were days when Prince William was rarely seen in public, no more than a shadow slipping between palace gates and the hospital wards, shouldering the worry of a husband, the responsibility of a father, and the weighty expectation of a nation. With 3 young children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, at home needing stability, comfort, and a sense of normalcy, it was William's steady presence that became the silent bulwark against uncertainty. Imagine, if you will, what it must have been like in those quiet moments at home. The family's private world reduced to whispered hopes and anxious waiting, every cough or quiet moment of fatigue a source of fresh anxiety. William, always composed in public, no doubt spent sleepless nights trying to comfort his children, reassure his ailing wife, and yet still prepare himself for the future he has always known would be his. Such are the invisible costs of royalty, the wounds and worries no camera ever captures. And then, at the height of this ordeal, came news that sent a ripple of relief through every corner of the Commonwealth. The Princess of Wales had completed her grueling course of chemotherapy. The palace, in a message that was both cautious and quietly triumphant, announced that Catherine was now in remission. The relief was palpable across Britain. Church bells rang, social media flooded with prayers and well wishes, and commentators speculated breathlessly about what the next phase might hold for the royal family. It is in this extraordinary context, this period of barely contained hope and unspoken dread, that today's story finds its roots. According to insiders, King Charles III, moved by the sheer magnitude of what his son has endured, has taken the rare step of giving William his personal blessing to slow down, to step back, if only temporarily, from the unending demands of royal life. The king, himself no stranger to the terror and uncertainty of a cancer diagnosis, is said to have recognized in William not only the loyal heir, but the exhausted son and protective husband. It was, insiders say, a moment of profound empathy between father and son. Charles, once the restless Prince of Wales, now a monarch who has himself stared down mortality, saw that the true strength of the crown lies not in public appearances but in the quiet bonds that sustain those who wear it. According to those with knowledge of the conversation, William spoke honestly to his father, expressing his desire to spend more time with Catherine and their children. The relentless pace of public engagements, charity work, and diplomatic duties, always grueling, had become nearly impossible to balance with the realities of recovery at home. The king, who knows all too well what it means to fight for one's health and family, did not hesitate. Charles doesn't want to see William burn out, and he certainly doesn't want to overload Kate when she's still fragile, one confidant reportedly explained. This, dear viewers, is no ordinary royal adjustment. It is, in many ways, the dawning of a new era, a monarchy that puts people before protocol, that values the emotional health of its family as much as the ancient traditions of state. In the words of those closest to the situation, now that she's feeling better and the constant fear of losing her has eased off, William's big focus has been on making the most of their time, this second chance at life together. It is a lesson forged in suffering and relief, a recognition that the glittering world of titles and tiaras means little if those at its heart are running on empty. The old code of stoicism, of never letting the world see the cracks, is being replaced with a modern wisdom, one that acknowledges vulnerability, the need for rest, the power of simply being together. The king's reported permission marks a potentially historic shift in royal culture. Never before has a monarch so openly acknowledged the personal cost of duty. Never before has the well-being of a royal spouse so clearly dictated the pace of public life. This is not just about compassion, it's about survival. For what good is a throne if the family who inherits it is fractured by stress and exhaustion? Of course, the public has watched these developments with a mixture of hope, concern, and, at times, suspicion. The princess's triumphant return to the balcony at Trooping the Colour, standing alongside her father-in-law and husband, was a moment of shared relief. It was a signal to the world that the family had weathered the storm, at least for now. And yet, her absence from Royal Ascot days later sent a new wave of questions rippling through the press. Was she well enough? Was the progress real? Or was this a gentle reminder that recovery from cancer is never truly linear? Palace officials have insisted, repeatedly, that every step taken by the Princess of Wales is guided by her doctors and by her own sense of readiness. No event, no matter how prestigious, is more important than her health. The king's flexibility for William is not just a father's compassion, it is a conscious strategy to protect the future of the monarchy, ensuring that those at its core are given the time and space to truly heal. And what of the bond between father and son? Those who have watched the Windsors for years say it is stronger now than ever. The king, once accused of emotional distance, is now seen as a source of support and empathy. His own health struggles have, it seems, given him a new understanding of what it means to face down fear not just for oneself, but for those you love most. Behind the palace walls, the mood is said to be one of cautious optimism. Catherine, while not rushing back to a punishing schedule, is slowly resuming her public role. William, with his father's blessing, is present for his wife and children in ways the public rarely sees. The monarchy, for all its pomp, is, at its heart, just a family, trying to find its footing after an unimaginably difficult year. Viewers, as you follow this extraordinary journey with us, we invite you to reflect on what this means for the future of the royal family and for the example they set. In a world that too often demands resilience at the cost of well-being, perhaps this new approach of choosing family, health, and healing is the most powerful legacy they could offer. What do you think? Is King Charles right to give William the space he needs? Is this a necessary step toward a more human, compassionate monarchy, or does it signal a troubling retreat from public duty? Share your views in the comments below, and as always, please like this video, subscribe for more exclusive royal coverage, and join us next time as we bring you the latest from the ever-unfolding drama of the House of Windsor.